Hey YouTube, welcome back to another Classics Are Better. I'm Travis and today we are back on my LS Swap 66 C10 I call Bandit. Specifically, I got a whole stack of suspension and brake parts to put on there. Get this thing sitting right. Let's go. Let's check out these goodies. Gotta love new toys. Alright, so I will put in the description below the video a link to all this kind of stuff just in case you guys want to try it on your truck. My only real concern right now is on the rear tires. They are pretty tight right here on this step side fender. I'm sure that the guy had it, you know, when it was a fleet side before this and it wasn't an issue. The offset's a little bit weird on these. There's a lot of space between the tire and the inner fender. So whenever I do get new wheels, I'm going to have to get some to kind of shift in a little bit. But hopefully this will sit down that 2 inches here in the back, and might have to roll this out a little bit more to get it to work or whatever. If not, I'm gonna have to put some different wheels on here, which would be not fun yet because I'm not totally sure what I want to do. Alright y'all, so before I started getting everything torn out of here, I wanted to kind of see what my current height is. Basically kind of here above the tire, over here by the door, and in the back. So right here we are at 29 1/4, right at 11 inches down there, and 27 inches in the back. I'm going to get the tires and wheels taken off of here real quick, and then I'm going to plan to do the front first, so I'll show you guys all the suspension and brakes and stuff I'm dealing with currently. We'll come back here, get the drop blocks on the back, and see how this thing does. This is what I'm starting off with, guys. So just kind of a old school disc brake conversion, probably from the late 90s, early 2000s. These were originally 6-lug trucks. This was converted to a 5x5 bolt pattern in the front and the back. I went through, like I said before, and priced everything as far as getting new rotors and pads and hoses and everything like that, tie rods and all that kind of good stuff, and ended up being just, you know, less than $100 more to go all brand new. So that's what we're going to do. Quick plan for the front is going to be just replacing everything essentially. So we're going to start off getting the caliper off of here. It's just 2 bolts in the back. Get this brake hose off. You got to be careful with the metal brake line up here. You definitely do not want to mess that up. And then I'm going to break the tie rod loose. I got all new stuff for that. And then actually, since I got everything new here, we can unbolt the spindle and just take this whole unit off with the hub assembly, bearings, rotor, the spindle, all that stuff, because we don't need it anymore. Alright, so now it's some pickle fork time, and we hope it works. Hey, that worked pretty good. Out like so. Now keep this, you're going to want to put your new one together. This is kind of a good guide as far as length and orientation, that kind of thing, so make sure you keep this and don't mess up your sides because they're going to be a little bit different. Now get our persuader out, see if I can knock that sucker loose. Cool. Sometimes you got to use a thing like a pickle fork for the ball joints too, but not on this one. Now let's see if it's loose from the bottom. We got a bang on it. Oh yeah, I got a bang on it. Okay. There's the whole thing off. The only really bad news, besides that just being a pain in the booty, was that I completely tore up, or well, this was pretty torn up, but I did not help it out at all with that pickle fork, so that stinks, because I think this has to be pressed in. I'd already got a new ball joint because this one's just bolted in, so it's no big deal, but I have to check on this. So I do not have this part, so we're kind of at a stopping spot, because now's when I would put the new drop spindles on. Well, I'd put the new upper ball joint and then the drop spindles on, but I need to figure out about this lower ball joint, so we will be back. Hey, welcome back, YouTube. I believe where we had left off was I had completely butchered this lower ball joint trying to get it off, or well, trying to get the brake rotor and spindle off, and this thing is just garbage now. So I ordered a new one. It came in the mail, so just went with this Master Pro or whatever. I went and rented a press or a ball joint press kit, so I'll show you guys how to use that to press this old one out and press a new one in. Besides that, there have been some other developments this week. So I got the Impala outside to give me some space in here. Made me a little Texas sign. It's a little bit more impressive at nighttime. Cue nighttime footage. Ooh, ah, so lovely, I know, right? I don't know, kind of cool. Other than that, I switched all of my lights to LEDs. So now it is literally twice as bright, like each bulb had twice the lumen. So pretty pumped on that. And then, my friends, I got cooking on Facebook Marketplace, and I took a 2-hour drive all the way down to like the Waco area and got myself ginormous 22x9 GM transport wheels. So these are sick. You're not technically supposed to have them. They are getting easier to find, but it's one of those GM things that is not for sale. The only issue, if you notice here, is this is 6 lug and I ordered 5 lug. Of course. But I ordered the stuff to make this work, so check it out. Right over here, we got us some 6 lug rotors instead of the 5 lugs. So I'm going to convert the fronts with the 6x5.5 rotors, or 6x5.5 bolt patterns on these brand new rotors. I got these adapters for the rear drums. So they are 1.5 inch adapters, which basically will convert it from the 5x5 to 6x5.5 here. And then I went and got the all new lug nuts. So these are 7/16 studs or whatever. And then I got the special lug nuts that have the thread in them as well, in case I wanted to add like more current hubcaps. The wheels themselves just came with some like moon caps, so I might use the moon caps. I might use some more current hubcaps using those lug nuts. I just wanted to give myself the options by getting the lug nuts with the screws on them, or with the threads on the outside. So anyway, let's get going. Okay, so here is our ball joint remover. It's basically like a giant C-clamp, and then you're just gonna force it into this thing. I'm hosed. Okay, so this is super sucky. Whoever had this before me welded the ball joint on. So I try and make this channel kid friendly, or I would have some choice words for this right now. All right, welcome back, my friends. So guess what? Stuff has been going on. Kind of picking up where we left off, I had this huge headache of finding that the lower ball joint was freaking welded to my control arm in this thing. Turns out not a lot of places sell a control arm, just a normal control arm if you don't want tubular, for a 66 C10. So that took forever to find a place that had one that includes the side shock mount. That's a little doodad right here. Anyway, found one, got it ordered. They sent me the wrong side, of course. So anyway, had to argue with customer service that I had ordered the right thing and they sent me the wrong one. Sent it back, finally got the right one another week later. So here we are 2 weeks later. But you guys know what I did during all that. It's 2 weeks, right? I ordered more parts. Check it out. So over here, I decided, well, here's my control arm, the brand new one. So at least it's already got a ball joint on there. But I ordered a 2-inch drop springs for the front, 4-inch drop springs in the back, and Belltech Nitro drop 2 shocks to go all the way around. So basically, when you get my drop springs with my drop blocks and my drop spindles, I'm going to be rocking a 4.5 6 drop on this thing. And I'm not doing a C-notch because I don't want to cut in to an original short bed frame if I don't have to. So we'll see how it goes. If I got to go back and do it later, it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. I'm gonna give it a shot because it's not like I'm hauling any loads with this thing. Let's go. So I'll show you as I put it on the truck, but here's just kind of a quick overview of the order of how you put this stuff together. So first we'll have the seal that goes against the spindle, then your larger bearing that we'll have to grease up and put in the back of the rotor. Pretend my Sharpie here is the rotor. And then coming in from the front side, you're going to have the smaller bearing. Grease that up as well. We'll have a little washer cap that goes on that. Tighten her down with the castle nut, put in your cotter pin, and then tap your cap on. There we go. Alright, I'd advise wearing some gloves because this just gets nasty and this stuff smells horrible. But I'm just using some high temp disc brake, this wheel bearing grease or whatever. And you're just going to want to pack it in. When you run out of grease on your palm, get some more. Gonna be the same thing for the small bearing here. Little victory, we are now 6 lug, so the rims will fit. What I want to do now before I put the caliper and all that kind of stuff on is get the tie rod dialed in. So what I do is try and put the rotor as parallel to each other as possible and straightforward, so that way I'll come over here in front of the truck and just make sure it is basically as level as I can get it, you know, vertically here or whatever. Just so my tires aren't messed up. So I'm going to get the tie rod zipped in, hopefully to size. I'll still have to get an alignment on this thing, but this should make it so I don't have any kind of huge issues while I'm driving around. Again, you're going to be very delicate with this hose. Need a new one spun on. And this, dang it, this would be the wrong size hose adapter for here. So that stinks. I'm gonna have to go to the parts store, find one with this end and this end. Up to the store in the morning, hopefully find the right one. We'll get back after it. Cooper's in the house. Anyway, back to brakes. Found a correct hose for this. Turns out that that brake line is not the correct size for a 66. So again, I think this cross member might have been out of something else, but I got the correct size. Let's get to it. Success. Got the brakes bled. Everything seems to be okay, I hope. But the front's all totally done, ready to rock and roll. What we're gonna do starting off here is just getting this U-bolt off, 2 bolts at the bottom, and get my drop block worked in right here in the middle. Then on this side, get the spring replaced. It just screws in from the bottom. The tricky part on this one is this top part is a bolt with a nut on it, and so you have to get a wrench inside the frame rail, so you're gonna have to reach around and get your hand in there somehow. So just quick PSA, wear some sort of eye or face protection because none of this is going to be fun if it hits you. And just like that, y'all, Bandit sporting 22-inch rims. Again, I'm gonna paint them because these aren't painted that great. I like the idea the guy was going for with the white wall and stuff, but I'm gonna do something a little bit different. In the front here, look to be like we're gonna be just fine, I think. In the back, it's gonna be a bit of a pickle. I can just get one finger in right there, and back here on this side I can barely get a finger in, and I can tell it's kicked out some, so I'm probably gonna have to do some clearancing on these rear fenders, I think, but we'll slowly put it down a little bit. It's been creased in a little, but I think I'm gonna have to knock it out quite a bit more. We'll see how it goes. Well, Houston, we have a problem. So started to set it down. It's actually looking pretty darn sweet. I like it, but you can tell this side over here is a little higher because we are most definitely sitting on the tire. So that is a bit of a pickle. I'm gonna have to work it out. It's almost midnight, so that's gonna be something I work out tomorrow. I'm back to tackle the clearance issues for these rear tires so I can get this thing rolling finally. And I thought of the solution, y'all. It's a 1997 Louisville Slugger. Maybe we can knock the problem out. You see what I did there? All right, no, so for reals, we are gonna use this thing to get some clearance in here. All right, my friends, so I'm in a pickle. Come here. This ain't gonna work. I have got so mad. I've been feeling feelings. But I used my baseball bat. I used a metal hammer. I got mad, used a claw hammer. I got some vice grips and a giant paint stick, like for a piece of wood. I was banging and rolling and flexing and everything I can on these things. They don't fit. So I did not do this cut. That was already there, but it just popped loose on their little tack weld when I was flexing everything out. But I cannot even get a finger under here. But this side has even less space still underneath it. So I can barely get any fingers under here. And you can see I bent this so much that it's just like flat now. So it ain't gonna work. The real horrible part is if you look underneath here, I still have a ton of space. I have like 2.5 to 3 inches between the inside of the wheel and the actual fender. So physically the tires will fit under there. It's just messed up because of the adapter. I was running some scenarios thinking, hey, should I just admit defeat and get some different wheels and tires and use these on something else in the future or whatever, because I still think they're super cool. And I thought, no, I'm not gonna do that. I want these wheels and tires on here. So I looked into different solutions, and I am going with an axle swap, guys. So I am just gonna switch this back to 6 lug like it would have been from the factory. Ended up being under $500, so it was a lot cheaper than buying different wheels and tires. So I'm gonna make this thing work. Well, I've got the cover off, and you can see that this doesn't look so bad in there. Only thing you can't take in on this video is how delicious the smell is. Oh, guys, it is just so yummy. Oof, oof. This truck just keeps picking on me. So I was making good progress, got this all off, figured out I got 373 gears, which is awesome. Just trying to get the center pin out here so I can get the C-clips out and get the axle swapped around or whatever. The stay bolt broke inside the diff. So yay, that's something else I get to fix. Well, I lost like 45 minutes of my life, but success, y'all. Got the broken one out. The quick and dirty on this is that you're going to get your wheel stud, put it in here from behind, get your ball joint press, let it go straight through the hole there, the open end, and then get your impact gun and drive in the press here through the back, until you're all the way in. Easy peasy. Also works to get them out. If you just flip it around, you can drive them out the other way. So if you needed to get them out, you can put this over and drive old ones out. Okay guys, so the fun just continues here. That's the axle pressed all the way in, and that is not far enough to put the C-clips on. So I'm like, what in the world is going on here? I ordered 66 C10 axles, and these are definitely too short, which is frustrating in of itself. But I got to thinking, this diff is from 71. I bet that's how they did the entire rear end swap. This is just a 71 rear end. Well, just jumped on the Google machine, and a 66 C10 axle is about a 3/4 of an inch more narrow on either side than a 71 C10. So I got the wrong axles here, and I get the joy of taking these back out, returning them, and then having to order other ones. All right, y'all, so I lucked out. There's a Summit had some of these in stock, and it's only about an hour from my house, so got some 6-lug 71 C10 axles, and hopefully this should solve my problems. What do you think, Cooper? Gonna work? Gonna work? Yes, sir. Making moves, y'all. So I got the wheel studs in the new axles. I got the new axles in the truck. Now I can show you real quick what I was talking about, the little area where it sticks out for the C-clips to go in. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys real quick. You can see with the correct axle in how there's room right here for the C-clip to press in, and then I can pull it out to the correct area. So I'm gonna get this all zipped back up. Finally, some good news, y'all. I got it all put back together, and I got a little rattle can job going and gave it some Texas flares. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the drums on there, get the wheels on, drop it down, see how we're looking. And that's so that the wheel will clear the center hub. I'm gonna go with these hubcaps that were actually off of the Suburban, the donor burb. I'm gonna paint them, of course. All right, my friends, the results are in. So, in the back, we went from 27 inches from the floor to the lip to 26 1/4 now. So, my 6-inch rear drop ended up dropping it about 3/4 of an inch. So, that's fun. In the front here, from the very bottom to the floor, I went from 11 inches to 12 inches. So, that's an inch in the wrong direction. And then on this side right here, I went from 29 1/4 inches to 30 inches now. So it went up almost an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So not the best when you do a 4.5, 6-inch drop to actually have it go up about an inch and only down about an inch. But all things considered, I went from 15-inch wheels to 22x9s. So I'm just happy this thing doesn't look like a 4x4 right now. These are all brand new springs and brand new shocks, so they will settle a little bit. I'll probably get another 1/2 inch out of these things once they've had time to just have the weight on them, that kind of thing. But with that being said, if in a couple weeks it doesn't look a little bit better on the lower type thing, I might use a little bit of heat persuasion on this thing. But right now I'm claiming a win. That took a long time to get here, between broken parts and welded on ball joints and snap bolts and wrong axles and all kinds of good fun. Wrong brake hose. It was challenging to say the least, but it's one of those things that just lets you guys know, don't give up. It's just nuts and bolts. You can do it. If something breaks, you get a new one. It's not fun, but it is what it is. Sometimes shipping time just takes what it takes. I missed out on C10s on the park this year just because of all the craziness with this thing. It sucks, but it is what it is, guys. You can't let stuff like that defeat you. Get out there, find a solution, and get going. So anyway, the next plan for this thing is to get a little bit of paint on it. I don't like the Bondo. I don't mind the crazy patina. I'm going to stick with that. It's not going to be like painted. But go through, work on this a little bit, especially on the front, because I need to get the headlights and grill and all this stuff to be able to drive it on the road again on there. Tail lights, all that kind of good stuff. But after that, I already have all the interior stuff here in boxes. It's just knocking it out and then throwing a bed floor in here. And it's time to cruise this thing, guys. So I don't know exactly how this video will turn out, but it was such a crazy journey to get here with this truck. But as always, I appreciate you guys very much for your support. Please leave a comment. If you know any way to do some of this stuff easier, please share it with the class. I always like learning new tips and tricks, anything like that. Hopefully this might inspire one of you guys to work on your vehicle out there some. So again, I'm a small channel. Please hit me up with a subscribe or click that like button. I always appreciate it with the algorithms and all that kind of good jazz. But anyway, guys, thank y'all so much. Get out there, get wrenching, my friends. Until the next time, y'all, have a good one.